Hello, I'm Lita Judge, and I write and illustrate children's books. This is my parrot, Beatrix. You don't have a speaking part, my dear. And she's going to join me as we talk about storyboarding. When I start to create a book, I don't sit at a typewriter and write a bunch of words. Instead, I start by drawing pictures. I'm actually dyslexic, and I found when I was a kid, if I sat down to write a bunch of words on a piece of paper, I'd get kind of freaked out. I'd get really nervous. But I had stories in my heart, and I love stories. And I started finding that if I just started drawing, it was the same as writing. And so in the beginning, when I begin a story, it looks like a bunch of scribbly bits, but these are ideas. These are me exploring what the characters are going to look like, what the set's going to look like, what's going to happen in the story, the plot. And I'm just exploring. Later, the drawings get a little more refined, and I start imagining, exactly what the characters look like. And eventually, I'm ready to move over to my storyboard. My storyboard is a place where I put down the pages of a book. I put down one piece of paper for every page of the story. And on that piece of paper, I plan out exactly what's going to happen on the page. Now, this book is a little different in that I'm illustrating a book that somebody else wrote. And so I had the words to begin with, but if I were to write my own story, I would still start, the process would be the same. I would start with drawing pictures and exploring, and then I would add the words. In the case of this, working with another author has been really fun because we've got to collaborate together on this book. But here I am, refining the stories, refining what's happening, getting to know my characters really well. I encourage you guys, try to write a book like this. It's a really fun way to create a story. Instead of feeling like you have to write the first sentence of the first paragraph of your book, just start by putting your characters down on paper and thinking about what they could do. And if you have, you could put a bulletin board in your bedroom, or you could take a box and flatten it. I used to use that in my bedroom when I was a kid. And I would just draw on little pieces of paper and tape it to the box. I like a bulletin board now because I can move things around as I'm exploring. And this book is almost ready to go because I've really kind of defined all the characters. And so the next thing I'm going to be doing is going back to my desk. And I've just started to begin by doing little color studies and exploring what my characters look like and what the colors of the book will be. And again, I encourage you guys, give yourself time to explore and really get to know your characters and love them long before you try to make the perfect book. The one thing I've really learned is that giving yourself a lot of time and letting yourself work in a way that works for you. So for me, working at a storyboard instead of working at a typewriter is what makes me fall in love with writing a book, and it makes me less stressed. If I were to just try to write with words first, I would get nervous, but if I draw, I get excited and creative. And so good luck with your stories. I'm going to go back to painting this one, but I encourage you guys, try working with a storyboard and creating your own stories.